All right, welcome back to Aligning with Success. I'm your host. Looks like I'm your only host tonight, Mike DiMuccio. I guess my co-host, Dave Rolfe. I can't recall if he said last week that he was tied up this coming week. I think he is, but regardless, we are in week 35 of 52 weeks for 2025. Um, and hopefully the first 35 the first 34 weeks have brought you a lot of insight that you're able to integrate into your business. Now, I, as a business coach on this call, am always looking for um, the connection to whether or not the information is landing in your business, and whether it's translating into the what you're looking for, which is essentially growth. What does a successful business look like in network marketing? And let me make that distinction: network marketing, as opposed to just business at large. If we were talking about Niken in a retail sense, it would be sales. But if we're looking at Niken in network marketing, how do you know we're progressing? Because there's people being added to your team, there's people joining, and there's rank advancements happening. Now, I know that there's not enough of that. I know that that for sure is not enough. And one way or another, we either thrive as a network marketing business or we die based on whether or not we are growing the network. So my emphasis has always only ever been growing the network. And if the things that I'm talking about aren't landing where you're seeing that happen, then we need to talk about whatever it is that needs to happen in order for that to work for you. And I know one of the things, oh, I see. They have an alarm. That's why Dave is not on. They have to evacuate the building where he's at. Let me just let him know we got it. So, um, he'll be on soon. Okay. Getting back to the point being growth and what does it take to grow the business? So, um, let's have some conversation about this. This is the first call of the month, since last month or last week was Labor Day. If you're on the chat, the We Accelerate chat, which is now called the September We Accelerate chat, if you're not on that chat, that means you're not setting goals, because that chat is for people who've set a goal for the month of September, and we monitor those goals. And I announced on that chat for any of the people on that chat who've set a goal and help anybody in their downline achieve the rank of silver, the most immediate upline on the chat to that person who goes silver is going to be awarded $200. The first who achieves that this month. So anybody out there who has somebody that you're working with to attain the rank of silver, there's an added incentive there to get it done sooner than later of $200. And there's a reason why I'm placing the emphasis on that, and not, who has the most sales, or a senior or executive or anything like that, because silver is where the business and replicates, where we have to help people achieve silver so that they can earn the most that they can earn on their activities. So silver is really, we're in the silver production business, at the business development level, at the network marketing level. That's really our aim. So with that in mind, if you haven't set a goal, please do so in that chat, or you run the risk of being eliminated from that chat. You don't want to be eliminated from that chat. Also, I just want to open up the floor to some conversation about what's it going to take. Let's brainstorm here. What's it going to take to get more people in at the senior rank and the executive rank, helping our people go silver? What's it going to take? Thoughts?
More events.
Events? Okay.
More
Uh,
conversations generating curiosity about the opportunity.
Speaking of which, um, I registered for the not Eric Worre, the Richard Brooke event coming up. Did anybody else on this call register for that? It's like only 97 bucks. Maggie, you did? You have a
We're
comment.
we're,
Okay.
we're going to be out of town. Otherwise, I would. It's going to be excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
His
Richard is
events
a,
are always top drawer.
and what's most important is what you get is the content. You get insights, but you get it from a different perspective because that's how we educate, how we learn is we may be getting the same information, but the way it's packaged, the way it's delivered, the way it's communicated might land differently for you. And Richard is one of the best in the industry. There's maybe a handful of people on his level in the entire world. So to spend 97 bucks and a couple of days with Richard online is I think it's just a good business decision. Now you might say, well, Mike, what do you have to learn? You know, you're sort of the top of the pile when it comes to network marketing. What I have to learn is what's working now. Not what was working when I was building to Royal Diamond, but what's working now. And and that's what I'm going to get is insights from the industry, from people who are on that call, and Richard himself, who does his own homework and research. What's working now, and what what traditions are working now? You mentioned events, more events. I know Nikan wants us to do more events, more live in-person events. Is that working now? Well, I can tell you where Nikan has live events, that's where growth is taking place. That's where you're actually seeing, and when I mean growth, I mean people signing up as consultants, people rank advancing. That's happening in cities where there are live events. And of course, who's topping the charts in North America?
Canada.
No, no, no. Who's topping the
Martina,
chart? Martina.
Martina Quesada.
Yeah.
And
And what has she
Kimball
got going
Sargent,
on?
Kimball Sargent is too. She's doing more in homes and bigger events.
Right, but topping the charts
Martina.
is Martina and her team because they do regular scheduled events. And you might think, well, okay, well, don't we live in a world where everybody's gone to the internet? Yes, to some extent
Yeah.
that's true, and there is an audience for that. Some people will simply not want to be at live events. But look at your demographic. Where do they want to be? Not online. They want to be at live events. Maybe the 30-year-olds want to be online and not at live events. I mean, their idea of a live event is a little bit particular. You know, it's got to be a destination event and it's got to be, you know, like VIP treatment and whatever. Their idea is different than maybe your my idea of
Glamorous.
right. It's yeah, a little bit glamorous. They have to be able to have, their phone in their hand and saying, look where I am and look who I'm with and do that, all that stuff, right? I was out to dinner last night and oh my God, I couldn't get over one table. That's all they were doing the entire night. It was like, are you even enjoying your meal? Anyway, um, so as I was saying, what was I saying? Yes, live events in our demographic is definitely a positive. It's a proactive thing. People like our age like to be social and are losing opportunities to be social in a constructive way. So this would be something that I think would give people a reason to get out and and get out of their home and get out there and interact with people. So start thinking about that. It doesn't have to be big. It could be in your living room. Just start planning to do a weekly. Maggie.
Michael, all those things are really important. And I think following your strategy that we've had for years, conversation number one is the most important thing. If you don't have people's interest, if you haven't created a picture of a possibility for them that they can step into, they may come to a live event, but they won't be as enrolled as if you had that first conversation, which doesn't have to be very long, but you have to create relatedness with them. You have to find out what inspires them. And then say, you know what? have an event that I think will really help you get whatever it is that they want, and enrolling them into that, and bring your friends, right? So I think that, and then the power hour, because I think one of the things we've been missing is the duplication factor. Not just the power hour for you, but like Jeff has suggested, you do the power hour and then you have 3 people on your team do the power hour. It wouldn't take long for someone to create a silver ship with that kind of activity. And that's conversation number 2.
Okay. Uh, Obviously, duplication is the key to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
our business simply will not grow if there's no duplication involved. Okay, I see Barbara's hand up and I see Norma's hand up. We'll go in that order.
What I particularly enjoy about the live events is the energy that's generated. When you're talking about, and people want an overview of the whole business, it's wonderful if they could have seen Balanced Life, Happy Life first and then attend an event, because that gives them an overview, and then you can hone in on their specific interest. But part of an in-home or an open event, doesn't matter how many people are there, whether it's 3 or 33, you start doing demonstrations and you generate curiosity. And the initial demonstration, what I have found, is usually the mag step demonstration. And they think there's some trickery to it. And then you say, okay, let's have 2 people that have had no exposure to these insoles before come up and do it on each other. And the look on their faces when they get the same result that I have generated with a volunteer is mind-blowing to the rest of them. Well, then the hands all start going up because everybody figures they're going to be the one to prove that there's some trickery in it. The energy that results from all that participation, and then you'll get somebody saying, well, what else can you show us? And one demo leads to another demo, and then you can take that information and say, can you think of anybody that could benefit from these technologies and expand, have a side business? It can be part-time. If you have an hour a day or 15 minutes at lunchtime and a half an hour or an hour in the evening, you can build this business if you focus on the time that you have to reach out to people that could benefit from not only the business side of things, but also people becoming far more participatory in being proactive. They want to prevent illness. They're starting to take on the Japanese mentality of being preventative in their health.
Okay, let's
Far more than even 10 years
tighten this
ago.
up to the question at hand.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned something that I want to place an emphasis on, the time that you have. We're going to come back to that. Norma.
Okay, you were saying about duplication. I was on another Zoom, and one of the old timers like myself said she had some new people come in, and she was trying to research on the 21 Club. What do you tell them to do? The old days, quote, is we used to do rollouts, I thought, in the 21 Club, and that's kind of what we did on it. Now, it's not really stressed, and that's kind of what I put out. Maybe I'm wrong. That even if you just explained what the NECANN's about, some of the products, because if you want them to buy products, they have to understand the products too. But there's not a black and white script that you do a rollout with. So if you're going to try to tell a new person for duplications, there's not something out there. I went back and researched, I thought, back in the back office, and I think I goofed up a lot of things. And hopefully I didn't upset somebody. But I'm getting a lot of emails from or Facebooks from other people, other businesses on my account, and it's like they're advertising to on my account, and I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be there or not. So I guess I'm trying to figure out, where do we cross the line at? We're trying to help everybody, but are we advertising on other people's Facebooks? We're wanting to duplicate and we want to get the advertising out there. But but yet we need to tell the new members something black and white too to make them productive and not to pull them down. Am I making sense?
Okay, a little bit all over the place, but okay, hang on. Let's
Okay.
one thing at a time. With respect to
Okay.
spam doesn't work, guys. Okay, you know what I mean by spam. So people spamming your Facebook, you spamming people's Facebook, that doesn't work. So what works is connection. That's what works. Connection is going to be always the thing that works. Um, I was on a call with a friend of mine today. He's in another network marketing business, doing really well. And he is also a great coach and trainer. And he says he's got this formula that he's teaching now, and it's like it's magic. It's duplicatable. Everybody likes it. And the key is, and he said this, the key is it doesn't matter what I do or what I say, so long as when I leave, people think they can do it. Okay, so it's what you duplicate, not what you do. So he said his three thing is show, share, connect. So show them something, share the product demo, and connect them with somebody. Connect them to somebody or something that validates. So like an ABC call or an event or something like that. Show, share, connect. Those are the three steps in his process that has simplified even the terminology. Show, share, connect. Right? And it's something you can learn how to do. It's something he teaches when he's doing it's part of the presentation. If you can show this and you can share this, connect people with other people, you can do the business. Show, share, connect. So he's making it so simple and sound simple that it's attractive. It becomes more attractive for somebody to consider joining. And it's a process. Obviously, it always is. But the key here is duplication. What are we duplicating? If we're duplicating long, drawn out conversations and long, drawn out presentations and so on and so forth, well, that's not very duplicatable. But if you can capture that on a video and you can share the video, well, that is duplicatable. So it could be a long, drawn out presentation, but shared via video makes it duplicatable. You see what I mean? So it's make whatever it is you're doing, it's got to be duplicatable. Barbara, is your hand up again or is it still up?
It is up. The reason I put it up, the magic word is video. On Core Consultant, you'll see a video done by Barb Satterwhite with a new customer. And on our meeting this morning of Platinums and above, the mentee meeting, she relayed the results of what happened with the lady that she's talking about on the video. The ladies had phenomenal results. The video is less than a minute long. You can send, and she's given permission for everybody to use it. It's a great short video, and send that out to somebody that may be interested. It's not going to take them a long time to watch it, and it generates interest.
So there's
And
the
it's
show.
perfect for our promo this month.
There's the show. So there's a video that you can get people to show other people. Very simple. Show them something, share with them a product experience, connect them to other people. That's a simple process. Sorry, I got a cat roaming in this space here that makes me a little nervous. So, Madeline.
I think the key is connect in the ABC. I don't think any of us have done enough ABCs. It's so easy to explain everything ourselves or be worried that they're going to feel like the car salesman, who has to go get the boss or whatever. And we just don't do enough of it, leveraging a third person or a third whatever, video or whatever.
Okay, well, that's absolutely critical. I don't care what network marketing business you're in, that is huge, is that ABC. Be able to you got it. Okay. So Paula, so we're going to add that to the list. So ABCs. I'm going to come back to the time that you have. Go ahead, Paula.
I agree with that because no man is a prophet in their own land. And if you're talking to somebody, especially if you know them, they're looking at you like, what do you know? But if you connect them with an A, they'll listen to them. And getting back to the videos, I have a new prospect that I'm working with, and I sent him your copy of Balanced Life, Happy Life that you did in August. And I wrote on there, this is people's usual first look. It's about 45 minutes. And then I sent them the Leo's Robert Kiyosaki 15-minute clip. And I said, because he really is a stranger to network marketing. And I just sent him those two clips and I said, this one is about 15 minutes. So when I called him, because we were supposed to have an appointment yesterday, but he got called out of town for a family emergency, so we're meeting tomorrow night instead. He called me and he apologized for not being able to meet with me, but he said, I watched the two videos, the 45-minute one and the 15-minute one. So I think if you put how long the video is, they're more apt to open it.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he watched the 45-minute one, to be honest.
No, I
Oh,
just told him that's people's usual first look.
so, okay, you framed it. And remember, we had this conversation about
Mhm.
framing a couple of weeks ago, how relevant that is when you frame the information so that they understand what they're going to see. You put it
Mhm.
into context. That's huge, especially if that context relates to their why, their consideration. So if you knew what their consideration was, say, listen, is it worth 45 minutes of your time to see if this is the solution? Then it's a solution to their problem. So now, there's a reason for them to invest that 45 minutes.
Mhm.
They're not doing you a favor, they're doing themselves a favor.
Well, I know he wants to get out of his current employment situation, so there is motivation to do his homework and do his due diligence. So,
Perfect. No, but let's come back to time you have for a second. Bale, hold that thought. More and more people are having less and less time, even though
mhm,
it's the same 24 hours since the beginning of time. So they're being pressed in ways that they weren't being pressed maybe even a decade ago. Example, social media consumes a huge amount of people's time, and it's all a waste of time. Not all, but a large part of it is in fact a waste of time. It's mostly entertainment or
that's
educate
why they
edu
call it doom scrolling.
yeah. So that's an added component to the complexity of the lives that people are living. And so you must be able to show them a fast approach, a fast way to duplicate. Again, one of the things you want to be looking for is efficiency in what you're doing. Can you do it in less time? Can you get it across in less time? Can you make it so that they can leave thinking, oh, I could do that? Because if they don't think they can do that, and I know we all love to hear ourselves talk, and we love to hear ourselves explain things to the because we're so excited about our products and so on and so forth. But there's a point in time where you are talking and they stop listening. You never want to reach that point. You want them asking questions, and that's how you know you've got somebody. If we were talking about fishing, how do I know I got something on the end of the fish? It's pulling, and then you go zzz, bring it in, and then what do? Let it go, let it run a bit, and then you got it again, and then you bring it back. So that experience, that interchange has to be happening. Otherwise, you're talking too much. So pay attention. If you're talking too much, even though you think you're explaining something to them, if you're not getting the interaction, if they're not stepping in, you're not interacting. They're not listening. So very, very important to be careful about how far you go in terms of your communication before you start listening again. Bela.
Well, whenever I suggest even that I'll send them videos or a link for a video, most people that I speak to, they say, I don't have time for this. But what I wanted to say was Jeff provided us with a script last week. I think after the book report, or maybe it was on Entrepreneurs Being More, maybe Entrepreneurs Being More on Thursday. Anyways, he gave us a little script, a sample script. He gave a couple of those versions, and he said, go on and make a video. I've given you this script. And I think that I want to try that because I think if you are engaging from a personal point, I mean, I'm sharing the Nikan videos all the time and I get, a couple of likes here or there, but no real engagement. But I think if they see me and they say, they see what I'm saying about the product and then show the product in that 2 minutes, I think that might be more
Yeah.
engaging for them. I'm not
This
sure.
This is kind of along the lines of what Richard Brooke teaches, which is your 1 minute story. Do your
Right.
own video of your 1 minute story and then share it with them and say, watch this. Let's talk right after you watch it. Because then what you're doing is I mean, if your conversation on the phone to get them to do that was 30 seconds,
Yeah.
not 3 minutes,
No.
not 30 minutes, 30 seconds, then you send them that video, and that video is a minute long, a minute and a half long, tops. And then now they want to talk. You've just shown them how easy it is to get that part of the process done.
Right. So I just
And
wanted to mention that.
so I think it's critical that because I think that's what we're falling short on here in Niken as a whole. We are falling short on the first conversation, on having more first conversations, because we don't have a resource or a tool that's so simple
Yeah.
that you have the time to share, and they in turn will see that they have the time to share. So if you did nothing but this week work on that video or that whatever, I'm guessing it is that video.
Yeah.
If you spent all of your time this week on just saying, I'm going to have the perfect way to intro Niken to somebody, intro this, create interest. I need the creating interest tool. Because if I have the creating interest tool and they're interested, well, they're going to give me more time and I'm not going to have to beg for it. So that first intro, that first piece, and I personally think your story is better than some $5 million production that everybody has seen. Everybody has seen a network marketing blah, blah, blah video. Everybody. I don't think there's anybody on the planet that hasn't seen one, except maybe somebody under 15. And maybe they have.
And
But
it
I would,
doesn't have to be perfect.
it doesn't.
It's more
It,
authentic if it isn't perfect.
So I think what you're trying to create is a reason for somebody to lean in to a conversation with you. Because once they're leaning in, it's on their own accord. You have their permission. And that's the key. Because if you can have that happen where people want to lean in, want to hear from you, then you're going to get a lot of traction. You're going to get a lot more conversations happening, and you're not going to be trying to convince anybody of anything. You may not even be on the phone with them. You may just send them a text, say, I've got something for you. It's 3 minutes. It's 2 minutes. It's a minute and a half. It's 59 seconds.
But you can also post it, Michael, on Facebook or on Instagram. You
Yeah,
know,
all of that. You
and
can.
you don't know who is listening and has an issue. For example, I just sold my first set of 3 M strides today. And I was really happy, and a chair pad and a bunch of other things. Anyways, but you don't know who it's going to resonate with. And when they connect with you, they're liable to trust you more than Niken, who they may never have heard of,
Right.
right?
Again,
So that was my point.
so basically, you're the best advertisement for Niken.
Yeah,
You personally.
yeah,
I know a lot of us think we need some special professional blah 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 video. I'm telling you, people that might come, but not in the first look, not in the first conversation. A lot of people won't take the time. They simply won't. But a personal message, they will.
yep. Keep it simple. That's my philosophy.
Yeah. And again, it shows a duplicatable way. It's simple, it's quick, it's easy. And that's what we have to demonstrate, that we have a quick and easy way to introduce people to Niken. And remember, once they start leaning into the conversation, they're going to lose track of time. It's not going to seem like a long time. They're going to lose track of time. But if it takes a lot of time to get them to that conversation, they're going to think this takes too long. I don't have time to do this. Barbara?
Refresh our memories, Mike, on that statement that you make. Do you have a minute? I have something to show you. And if I can't get your interest in 60 seconds, I'll leave and there'll be no more discussion.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was remembering it
Yeah.
correctly or not.
I usually bring that up if I'm getting a hard time getting to meet with this person. I'm saying, look, tell you what, I just want 60 seconds of your time. If I can't impress you in the first 60 seconds I'm there, I'll leave. We won't have to talk about this again. Now they absolutely want to know what could I possibly be, how could I impress them in 60 seconds? Now they're curious. And that's the point. The point is, if I can, in 60 seconds, I've just shown them a very effective way to do business. I have something that gets people's attention in 60 seconds or less. And so that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants the best mousetrap. They want the best mousetrap. But when you actually ask what they really, really want, it's got to have this and it's got to have their list is like really long, and they're thinking it's got to be simple and it's got to be do you understand that what you're asking for is a highly complex thing that you want to dumb down to a level of simplicity that a 3-year-old can do? That's a tall order, but we can do it because we have to understand the psychology of the brain. If a person is excited and interested, they will investigate and they won't mind the time that they're taking to investigate. It won't be a drawback and it won't be, oh, I don't have time for this. So the thing that it takes to get them to that point, that's what has to be concise. That's what has to be brief. Paula?
And then what do you do in the 60 seconds?
I do a mag step demo.
Okay.
I demonstrate the technology. And that's what I'm demonstrating. If they say, oh, how much is that? I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. They'll have your attention. Do you understand this is a technology? If you like this is the tip of the iceberg. Wait till you see what else there is. I'm constantly doing this to create and heighten the interest, to pique the interest so that they will take the time. And then it's their time, their permission. Bela?
So the way I sold the Meg steps, or Meg strides, was I said, "Hey, you golf all the time, and don't your legs get tired over the 18 holes?" Yeah. I said, "Do you want to try something that might give your legs a boost and might even improve your game? Who knows?" And he said, "You know, I'm a skeptic, right?" I said, "I know. So what have you got to lose? Try it." So he said, "Okay." I said, "They're on special right now for two for the price of three. Do you want one or do you want the three?" He said, "Oh, give me the three. I'll just put them in a bunch of pairs of shoes." Okay, done. Didn't have to go into any of that
By the way,
demonstration.
just an FYI, I would never golf without them in my shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also wear the flex on my back. And I also wear the bracelet on my left, which is my grip hand, and the wrap. I wear the bracelet and the wrap on my grip hand because that strengthens my grip, which is really important when your
Well,
main arm.
I was
you,
able to outshoot Wayne with my drive because I had my tech on and he'd forgotten to put his on.
Okay, let's recap here. We need more live events, which causes participation. Participation creates energy. Energy is contagious. People want to be with people who have energy. So live events creates a dynamic that is just, if you make a live event a fun event, people are going to come back and they're going to bring people. So if you haven't yet planned a live event, do it. Just make a decision you're going to do it, just like you make a decision you're going to have a barbecue in the summer,
so can you
right?
define a live event then?
An in-person event.
So what are you doing? You're calling people to do a presentation?
So what you're doing is you're creating interest to a number of people and converging those people to an event where you're going to showcase everything.
Okay.
They're going to
So
get to
not
see the soup to
not meaning
nuts.
a consultant event. You're saying us personally. Okay, so I misunderstood.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you if once you start a small team, then it's the team event. So everybody's doing the same thing, converging. It's like
Okay.
church, it's like, church. Everybody has their own daily practice, whatever, but on Sunday, everybody shows
Right.
up at church. Same
Right.
idea. So, what's that event that's going to create a regularity of your business. It's like the shop's open, it creates a team. It creates a team experience because that's
Okay.
what really grows the team is the team experience.
I totally misunderstood. I thought all the consultants meet in one group and then we have kind of like a team meeting kind of thing.
Yeah, no, no, no.
No,
We're trying
okay.
to we're trying to get Nikken out into the world, not the world
Right.
into
Make
our one. Right.
exactly.
But
Good.
it could be
Understood.
something as simple as a 21 club or an in-home presentation with half a dozen people.
Yeah. Yeah. Where two or more are gathered. So more conversations, which we talked about how to make them short, sweet, concise, make your own little video, send it out and say, check this out. I'll call you back in 20 minutes or call me as soon as you finish watching it. And that'll get more conversation starters going. The Power Hour is a great tool to encourage. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really about a commitment of time, right? So remember, a partner is somebody who commits time, money, and contacts. Well, when we speak of time, we're talking about something that they do every single day, like brushing their teeth. If they're not doing something every day to move the needle on their business, they're not in a business. They're in a hobby. It has to be every day. So the power hour is just labeling it. This is the day or the time that I'm doing it. It's my power hour to do my Nikan business. But it's at least it's creating something in everybody's mind right now that I need to set apart an hour of my time to focus on my Nikan activity. And back in the day, we didn't have to call it a power hour. We used to just say, what's the time of the day that you're going to be working your Nikan business? Look at your schedule. We used to call it the big rocks. Put the big rocks in your schedule. These are the things that are immovable, like your job, like church, like whatever commitments that you have that can't change. And then in between all those commitments is opportunity for you to do Nikan. That's your time. That's the time that you take to make those calls and follow-ups every day. Time that you have, again, the idea of demonstrating that we can do this business part-time in a very efficient way, that's critical. Work on that. Work on that this week. And the ABC, that's the connection, show, share, connect. When you connect people with people and they get to hear somebody else's story, that's duplicatable. One. Two, there's another dynamic that happens there. Boosts credibility, gives insight, and moves the needle. The thing that moves the needle the most in this business, regardless of what company you're with, is the ABC. Barbara?
This morning on the mentee call, Cheryl Walters, a downline of Debbie Jones, Sherry Danzig's group.
Mm-hmm.
She's having phenomenal success. She's working with an entire senior citizens building. And she's got them all after the water. She sold 7 waterfalls last month, in July, when we had that special on. And she's still getting requests for people wanting to buy the waterfalls. And now she's, of course, promoting the insoles because what are seniors afraid of? Falling. So, if
So
you've
if
got
you
a
can do
seniors building
and then what
nearby,
I would call that a balance test because what's they're afraid of to fall because they lose their balance.
yeah.
So do a balance test. Yeah,
But
good
if you know
idea.
somebody that's in a seniors building, start
Me.
with a person that you know and work
Now,
out from there
now,
and start
Barbara,
getting.
how many of those seniors do you think are going to join Nikan and go to silver?
They have younger people, they have children and
But you're
grandchildren.
not teaching them a duplicatable business. You're teaching them that they should go into senior homes and talk to senior people about products that can help their
No,
balance.
but
Do you understand?
she's getting the second and third
Hang on.
generation people interested.
It's really important that the methodology from the very start shows the replication. The factor of duplication is in what you're doing. And if what you're doing is to one audience and you think that's going to attract a different audience, you're wrong. That doesn't work that way. You will like attracts like. So whatever you're doing is going to attract whatever you're doing. So if you want to attract a younger audience into network marketing, don't look for them in senior homes. Don't look for them as the children of people in senior homes. Because the
But you
story
could be
is,
building a retail business in the senior home, and you could be
yes.
looking for younger people because she and Debbie, they walk the parks I don't know
So
whether it's
the
every day
senior
to
home
meet other
business,
people.
the senior home deal is just a retail engine. And there's many opportunities to create those retail engines. There's a lot of senior homes. So if you want to get a retail engine going, that's a great, that's a great tool. I mean, there's others, but that's one. But don't be thinking network marketing if you're doing that. That's retail. That's not network marketing. Network marketing is finding out what people want out of life. Where do they want their life to go in the next 5 years, 10 years? And what are they willing to do to get there? Who's in that position? Like, think about who is it? What stage of life are you in when you're looking to transition into something that's more productive, more meaningful, makes you more money, gives you more purpose, and so forth? What stage of life are you in? That's who you want
Mid-40s.
to be introducing an opportunity. What you have in your story is, I started when I was this age, and thank God I did when I did, because today I have a business and have had it all this time, fulfilling purpose, making money, creating teams, traveling the world, like whatever is your story. So your story is relevant to somebody who's in their 30s or in their 40s and wants to be in their 50s, 60s, 70s, feeling like you feel, having the energy that you have. So it's almost like the question is, if I had to do life over again, when would I have started again? That's what you got to tell them. Lynn.
Um, I'm sure you know that my focus is business strictly, more so product will come. I just noticed, and I'm asking for opinion, Mike, lately, and I happen to have friends that live in Hamilton, and you know where downtown Toronto is, so it's an incredible commute to go downtown. I noticed the banks, the government is ordering employees that were working from home that they have to go to the office. Give you an example, BMO said as of September 1, you come to the office, or if you're staying at home, you would have no promotion. I have friends who are moving to Montreal because they refuse to spend $3,500 to live in Toronto or travel 2 hours a day. So my intention is to do a event, let's say, but I want to tap into that. People are upset. They don't want to go back. People got used to
They
working
need
at home,
options.
and
They need to
they
diversify,
need
and
options. And
they need
that's
to be able to
yes,
they need to be able to grow something on the side that gives them the option in a year or two from now.
yes. Give me an idea how to, let's say, here we go. Somebody that I'm talking about is making 80, 100,000 a year.
Do you want an option? Do you want an option that you can do while you're making your 80, 100,000 a year? Do you want an option you can do that within 2 to 3 years will give you an out? Do you want to know about that? See, then you're not taking away from what they have, because that's their blanket, that's their
Yes,
security, that's their bread and butter.
yes.
You can't threaten that. Don't threaten that. Say, do you want to continue to make your 80 to 100 for the next 3 years, while at the same time build something that gives you the option to walk away? Do you want that? Do you want to know how to do that?
Okay,
They're
Michael.
gonna immediately think, oh, that's not possible because it takes all the time that I have to make the money that I make, because they don't know leverage. They don't know compounding.
That's perfect when I'm sitting down having a conversation. How do I get that interest that I get that appointment? Give me something shorter.
Where do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now?
Okay. You wouldn't even mention you don't want to be traveling 2 hours a day.
Where do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now? Is it going to be traveling to and fro for the next every day to the city?
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I
Because
would add.
that is huge change right now happening around this area, not just banks.
But you see what I'm throwing
everybody's.
out there? I'm throwing it out
Yes,
as a 2 to 3 year window. I'm not saying today,
yes.
I'm not saying you're going to quit your job today and come and do this. No,
Yeah,
that's not realistic. What's realistic is that they can compound. They can build something on the side with 10 to 15 hours a week of real work. They know real work while they're commuting. How about if you took the 2 hours of commute time and turned it into a business that gets you out in the next 2 to 3 hours, the years?
That's really, yes. No, that's very valuable. And that's where I've been noticing. And I said, my God, if we can tap into part of that discomfort, that's very troublesome
Everybody
right now.
they know is in that boat. Everybody they know is going to be commuting and so forth. It's like, let's show everybody you know how to take their commute time and turn it into a business that gets them out of the rat race in 3 to 5 years or 2 to 3 years.
Okay. Thank you.
Remote workers for the government have also been ordered back to the offices.
Everybody's
but I think
being ordered.
Everybody, because real
Yeah.
estate's tanking. They don't know what to do with these empty buildings. The whole economy was held together by that brick and mortar model.
Yeah, the landlords are losing money.
Here's something to write, or just we're recording this, but so keep this in mind. So I asked a 29-year-old, 39-year-old yesterday at dinner who knows our business intimately. I said, if I was going to be on a call and you had a prospect on the call, what would you want me to share with them? Give me 3 questions you want me to answer that would impress upon them something, a motivation for being involved with us. First question, describe the moment you knew you needed to do this business and why. Describe the moment you knew you needed to do this business and why. Looking back, what advice would you give to yourself in the first year of building your business? Tell that. So what would you have told yourself? What advice would you give yourself? Like most of us would say, if I knew then what I know now, this is what I would have been doing. I'd have been focusing my time and my attention on all the moments that I had to. You would say that, right? Describe one thing you've been able to do. One thing. I said, there's so many things. One thing, just describe something. You need to connect with a thing. Describe one thing you've been able to do as a result of your success that makes the effort so worthwhile. Just pick one thing. I get to play with my grandkids, or I get to pick one thing because it's a personal human story. It's a personal touch. It's emotional. It's real. It's a connection. Those are the 3 questions that she gave me. And I thought, that's really good. That would make a really good ABC call. So I'm doing the first one on Thursday with my platinum or with my diamonds and royal diamonds in Latin America, where they're going to be answering those questions for the audience that show up. So take that to heart, maybe make that part of your pitch. Notice it doesn't have anything to do with the products, and it doesn't have anything to do with network marketing, and it doesn't have anything to do with the company and so forth. It's really about the human situation, the human condition, which people can relate to regardless of what they're doing. Now, the how, we're going to get into the how, but you'll never get to that unless they're leaning into the conversation. So the first thing that has to happen is a connection to the story, to the information that gets them to want to know more. When they want to know more, you have all the time in the world to fill that need, to fill in the blanks. And they won't see it as time passing because it's them seeking. And they have all the time in the world for themselves to pursue their interests. And if this is one of those pursuits, it won't be a drawback as to how long it took them to get involved. So that's it for tonight, guys. What shall we call this call? We'll think about it. Anyway,
Personal invites.
next week.
I think
Reflection.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I still like the line with success.
Okay, there's a question here. Can I post a link for the upcoming Richard Brooke? I posted it on the chats, on all the chats. So if you scroll back to last week, I think, or just look for links, you'll see it. One of the links that I posted. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Mike.
Mike.
Happy birthday, Michelle.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Michelle.
birthday, Michelle.
Wait, is it today, Michelle? Michelle, is
Yeah.
it today?
Yes,
It was
Today?
yesterday.
It was
Well,
yesterday.
it showed up on
birthday.
Facebook today.
Well,
Thank
how
you.
about that? Oh, it is yesterday. I do have it. Happy birthday.
Full moon
Belated.
yesterday.
Full moon. Wonderful.
I
All
was
right,
thinking
guys.
Michelle is so driven, she's on the call tonight on her birthday.
Well, hey, listen, make the most of this information because if you do, it's gonna turn heads. It's gonna make things happen, and that's what we want. More people participating. Okay, thank you.
Mike, could you give us those 3 questions?
I
on
just
what-
did. Do you want me to?
I know, but I
I'll
just
put them on
wanted to-
WhatsApp.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
I will
Perfect.
definitely put them on WhatsApp. Thanks for that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Righto.